Did you take this opportunity to speak to him about any of that, and did you have one-on-one time with him?
Well, when he got to our table, we were already standing in anticipation of him coming, and when he got to me, it was he and I introduced myself, and I was very upfront. I said, Mr. President, I have been one of your most ardent critics. I think that took him aback a little bit. I said, but on Sunday night, I was very proud of you. I was very appreciative of what you helped make happen, and I was very proud of America. And then he hugged me. And then I said, but I have a question for you. And he said, what is it? And I asked him, or I told him that I was aware that Eric Holder was still a possible criminal charges against the CIA interrogators, the very interrogators who got the information in enhanced interrogations from Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and Abdul Alibi, and even though that they'd cleared through two investigations. And I said, as a former attorney, I know that you can't tell the Attorney General what to do. And he said, no, I can't. And I said, but that shouldn't stop you from offering your opinion. After all, we wouldn't be here celebrating today if they hadn't done their job. And they have the hammer of a possible indictment over their heads. And can't you at least give him your opinion? And he said, no, I won't. And he turned around and walked away.
Really? So he did not engage at all on that topic with you?
He said to me, well, you're a former attorney, you know I can't tell him what to do. And I said, sir, that doesn't mean you can't give him your opinion. And that's when he said, no, I won't.
That is fascinating, Debra. I think everybody feels, I can't say everybody feels. I think when you look at this story of these prosecutions, of these CIA officials who carried out these interrogations, to think that the president has no say over that matter, or whether or not those charges would be dropped, or is not willing to discuss it with Eric Holder, I think a lot of people might take issue with that, and I'm asking you, do you believe that that's the case? Do you believe that he's not involved in that at all?
No. No, I don't believe he's not involved with that at all. And while it's true, technically, he's not supposed to direct the Attorney General. The Attorney General, his client isn't the President. His client is us, you and me, the American people. And the President isn't supposed to interfere in investigations. But let's be real here. Doesn't mean he can't say to Eric Holder, this is my opinion, and he can't. He's a citizen just like the rest of us. There's nothing to stop him from giving his Attorney General his opinion. And in fact, members of Congress have told me that the Khalid Sheikh Mohammed decision was absolutely Obama was calling the shots on that, and that Eric Holder was along for the ride. But the President, can use the Attorney General to distance himself from some of the harder decisions. But I don't think that that's what's happening here. I think that, or I don't know that's what's happening here, but I do believe that this prosecution, or the potential prosecution, and the special prosecutor, this is no longer about actually prosecuting people. It's about appeasing the hard left, who is obsessed with the whole torture narrative. And I believe that there's not going to be any prosecution, certainly not now that we know that they were instrumental in bringing down bin Laden, or at least a part of the, quote, mosaic. I think that they're just leaving it out there, and meanwhile these families have this hammer over their head, these CIA guys.
I hear what you're saying, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier. The question, to drop the whole thing right now, for Eric Holder to come out and drop this whole thing right now against these CIA operatives, it would almost be too obvious, that there had been some kind of realization, perhaps, that the work that they did may have contributed, as Eric Holder has said, to this mosaic of intelligence that eventually led to this incredible moment when Osama bin Laden was actually killed. So, what do you think the game plan is now? Because you have followed all of this so closely. Do they just sort of let it wither, let it live out there for a while longer until there's the right moment to pull the plug on this thing while these CIA families wait, and as you say, they have a hammer over their head?
Well, I think that there is a great deal of interest in exactly how this happened and went down. And of course, you know, they're not going to give the operational details, and they're not going to want to get into some of the intelligence, which is still fertile and they can use. But we're talking about something that happened years ago. And Jose Rodriguez, who is the former counterterrorism head of the Counterterrorism Center, he's already out there in the public saying, he was head of that center from 2002 to 2005. He's saying that they absolutely got the ID on these couriers from enhanced interrogation. So they can't hold the lid on this, and the media is very much interested in it.
Is this the topic that you are, you have been such a diehard, spokesperson for these issues over all these years? Is this where you're going to put your focus now that the KSM trials, that issue is off the table, at least for now? Those trials are supposed to get underway, hopefully soon at some point at Gitmo. Is this where your focus is going to be now?
Well, it's one, because there are a lot of problems. We just found out last week, or the last couple of weeks, that a career, what we think is a career lawyer inside the National Security Division, has gone public, or at least he's not, or she is not letting us know what her name is, but Patrick Poole, the reporter at Pajamas Media, reported that Eric Holder quashed prosecution last May, an indictment that the U.S. Attorney in Dallas wanted to bring against CARE officials and other officials of some of the unindicted co-conspirators in the Holy Land Foundation trial. I'm interested in this, Martha.
I know you are, Deborah.
Not because I'm, going around, with a cloak, trying to, like a truth commission. This affects our national security going forward. And one of the Obama administration officials in that meeting just now, when I mentioned this to him, he said, "Oh, but we're not looking back." And I said, Eric Holder is looking back, and this is very important, because when you do this to CIA case officers, you affect what they are willing to do going forward.
We're just
to make
about
them
to get
risk
cut
averse.
off. Deborah, thank you so much. It's good to have you with us today. We really appreciate it. We will be right back with more.